Hi, this is Kim with the Kim Childs team at Keller Williams Realty, and today I wanted to talk about contingencies in a residential real estate agreement here in Oregon. And there are several contingencies included in an agreement, or that can be included, and it's really important for both seller and buyer to understand these so they can really understand the ins and outs of the residential real estate agreement. I'm not an attorney, and so I really want to preface everything I say with, if you do have any specific questions, you may want to consult an attorney and get your questions answered by them. But I'm going to just give a little bit of an overview. So one of the first contingencies that's included in many contracts is the financing contingencies, and there's really three of those. That the property and the buyer would qualify for the loan, and also that the appraisal amount would be at least equal to purchase price. And that is a contingency that buyers can use, and if those things aren't met, they can terminate the contract, or buyer and seller can try and renegotiate those points to each satisfaction. A second contingency that's included in the residential contract is the property disclosure contingency. So sellers complete a property disclosure form, and that's provided to the buyers, and the buyers have 5 days to unconditionally disapprove of the property disclosures and terminate the contract if they so desire. Another contingency that's included is the preliminary title report and CC&Rs. So the buyer will receive a preliminary title report from escrow and conditions, covenants, and restrictions, if there are any, for that property. And the buyer has a certain time frame to review those and can unconditionally disapprove based on one or the other of those as well, if they desire to. Another contingency that's included in most agreements is a licensed professional inspection. And a customary contingency period for that is usually 10 business days, but it can be whatever's agreed to. And during that time, the buyer can perform their inspections, and they also can unconditionally disapprove based on inspections and terminate the contract should they so desire during that time frame. If there's a homeowners association, the buyer may choose to ask for homeowners association documents and review those as well. And if that's the case, the agreement will provide for time frames for those to be provided and for the buyer to review those. And during those time frames, the buyer can unconditionally disapprove based on the homeowners association documents that have been provided. Another common contingency that's included in transactions where the home was built before 1978 is a lead-based paint contingency period. And before 1978, lead-based paint was included in paint, or lead paint included lead-based paint. And there can be some concerns, right, about the health and safety of having that in the home. And so the buyer has an opportunity to perform some due diligence and learn more about that, can test for that if they desire, and has the opportunity to terminate the contract based on that inspection and what they've learned during that time period. There can be other contingencies that are included. For example, it might not be uncommon for a buyer to ask to purchase a home contingent on selling and closing on the sale of their existing home. And if the seller were to agree with that, that would be a contingency that could be written in. One that's common right now in this market is sometimes sellers are saying they will sell the home contingent on finding a replacement property. So that's kind of the opposite contingency, and that's not uncommon right now either. I haven't covered every possible contingency. Mainly, I just want both sellers and buyers to be aware that the agreement does include quite a few contingencies that often are just built in, and they should be aware and pay attention to those and those time frames and not be too surprised if something comes up regarding those. If you do have any questions, call me at 503-351-5445. Again, it's Kim with the Kim Childs team at Keller Williams Realty. Have a great day.